And this next start I want to start in this year on the 17th of July 2024 is from this magazine. It's called Needleworker of autumn 1997. Just in case if you would like to stitch the same design, I want to show you what it's from. And it's called the White and Gold Sampler by Kathy Holicky. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly. So there's like a little talk about her interview, and this is what the design is going to be like. So again, no excess, no cross stitch. It's going to be full of specialty stitches and with the special threads that I'm going to be stitched on a 25 count cream linen, and I'm going to be using different rainbow gallery threads and some Mill Hill beads. So let's see what kind of threads it's going to be. I've never worked with them, so it's going to be very interesting to see how it works. So it's 100% linen, rainbow linen in here, and it's all in white color. Then we have a super suede, like a yarn, and you see what's made of. Then another white is going to be Bravo that you can use also for a cross stitch and a hardanger. So never worked on any of those threads, and that includes this coronet braid. So it's like a looks like a gold and silver kind of mixed in, weaved together, and you can see it's a rayon and polyester, and of course like just a regular pearl cotton. So also it's gonna have some Mill Hill beads, pearl beads, gold, and some other things, so like petite. Right now I'm gonna be working with these interesting threads, and new experience with all of them, and I'm hoping I'll be able to tell you my first thoughts of these threads and how they work. So I'm gonna start it, this interesting design with gold and all different whites. I'm sure it's gonna give a totally different look, totally different texture. So let's start. So, as you know, I've been working for several days on this design, and I was having a little trouble figuring out. I actually had to try and send email, and I was looking up at the designers' contacts everywhere online, and couldn't get in contact. And this email right away came back to me as the one that says like can find it. So I guess that email does not exist, and there's nothing online that I could find for her contacts. The only things that I could see is where to get her patterns, like in which magazines. And I actually this past year got pattern in the sleeve of hers also that I'll eventually do, but there's this place that I'm stuck, and I'm hoping that some of you perhaps either done this or know what I will be asking about. So let's first and see what I've done. And I moved a little bit where it was stitching a little bit up, so I knew where the front is, so I could fit the whole thing in. And as you can see, I've done all the bands. So for bands, I was using, as suggested, this super suede, and you just put from one side to another, and then with this goldish silver braid, you just cross it in specific things. But again, pattern did not go correctly as it was said, because in the drawing, I'm gonna show you just a tiny bit. Like in here, how it was when I was counting threads of the fabric, it was not matching to like what was shown in here. So I just kind of went by the big one and not a little instruction one. So that was one thing. And it was not accurate. It was contradicting itself, so I wasn't sure which way to go. But I've just stuck with what was overall full pattern and was going by that. My let's see, those two bands are done, and I was stitching one with like I said, this cotton pearl cotton thread, I should say, and I used it instead of Rainbow Gallery Encore because I can't find it. I couldn't find it anywhere, and I after some digging up online, I found that it's the same as a size 8 pearl cotton thread. So that's what I used to substitute. And then I was using rainbow linen. So it's this one. So it was fine to stitch with that. You know, it's sort of like a pearl cotton kind of thread, and that was for these big ones. And I was following instructions how to do exactly. And there's some tiny beads in here, like a golden beads, and they'll be repeating somewhere else. And oops, and there's some like a white pearl bead supposed to be. So I did actual substitute, and I'll show you what I did. So instead of like a regular gold beads that Mill Hill, I had this from fairly cheap collection that I got. I don't remember, like a Hobby Lobby or Michael's, from a bead box, and they have some unnamed. So I kind of looked at that. It's like, you know, those kind of look a little bit pearlized. So I went with these, and though these beads are not as evenly shaped, each one of them, I just try to kind of pick some of them that are similar in shape and not like one skinnier, one thicker, so it would sort of match. But I thought this would look good. I mean, you can kind of see some of the colors here. And the same went for the regular. Instead of regular, just a typical gold, I figured nobody will know. Similar color, not fully. This is looking a little bit, tiny bit maybe bigger and dirtier. So that would work if you wanted to do. So like I said, rainbow linen was no problem to stitch because it's felt to work like with pearl cotton. But oh, the beads, I also for beading used this sort of like this, you can see, polyester thread. I got it from I think probably AliExpress, and it's one of those beading threads in here, so it's not invisible, but it does not tangle too much, and that's what I was attaching beads with instead of invisible thread. But I have to ask you guys question where I was stuck. So first of all, as you can see, there's two areas going to be in here, and the top one that needs to be using this Bravo thread. And I looked at the thread, and it's woven out of like a 4 of threads that you could split. I don't know if it's going to show, but you could split in the 4, but it's rolling up as like a 1. And instructions say use 1 ply. So I couldn't figure out if this whole thing considered as a 1 ply or not, because like you see in here, it says for cross stitch, hardanger, and needle point, cross stitch 1 ply, needle point 3 ply on 18 count. So I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to use the whole thing as is, or split, you know, cut a piece and then pull out just the 1 ply. So for example, in this first band, I did pull out 1 ply and did this big giant thing, and I also used the full 4 plies in here and stitched as that. And there's a couple more bands, like I said, that needs to use that thread, so I wasn't sure if I should have this bulky or not. And I was trying to look it up, like compare the picture, and I was trying to figure out, you know, is that like looking much thicker than this thread, which would be like pearl cotton, or not. And few of us couldn't figure out by this picture, so I'm not sure. You know, in here I could do like a checkers and have a 1 ply in like bouncing and with the all 4. but as you can see, some of those specialty stitches will need to have it with one ply also, and I need to figure out which way to do, because if it's supposed to be with one pulled out, and then it might look too bulky or what. So I'd like your suggestions, especially if you've done that, or if you know how to who could answer my questions. So as you can see, I'm showing you what it looks like with one and with another, and which one it should be. So I can't continue with this design until I figure out what to do and how to stitch with this thread, because when I say one ply, and then it shows here that you can split, so I'm kind of confused. So until then, I'll have to set this aside and wait until I either make up my mind or I get some advice from you guys. So that's all I've done on my white and gold sampler. So I actually have a semi-finish. So as you can see, I already took it off the frame or hoop, and by pulling on the hoop, I got a tiny bit of a pulled thread in here, but I'm sure put it back. So let's look a little bit up closer, because there's few changes that I've done and few things I couldn't figure out, so I kind of went with my own ideas how it is. First of all this supposed to be like as a border. Those dark axes supposed to be with one thread, and when I started stitching, I was like halfway, and then I figured out that I was supposed to use one thread, but I just didn't continue because it was in the stitch group, and it's like, oh, so what? I don't think it looks that bad. And then it took me a while to figure out which things would have to be in which color for the back stitching, and as you can see, there are some specialty stitches like these, and those lazy daisies, they were just described in the words, and somehow the yellow ones here are not as much seen. And like in this place, inside the lazy daisy, it was supposed to be like a partial straight stitches in here, and it was kind of disappearing inside, so I had to do several times to even to start seeing these darker lines in here. And as you can see, there are some French knots, so it had to be all around the border to do French knots. And there are some different colors in the Santa's hat, like 3 colors at least. Then there's some in here, there's some stray stitches and back stitching, as you can see. And then it interestingly said this around little heart, those lazy daisies on the border, that not lazy daisies, I'm sorry, but French knots, it's called it as a fabric heart, and said look at the pictures for placement. So I couldn't figure out for placement, because the only thing that needs to be placed is, let's see at the picture, is going to be this, but I don't have that fabric. I might just get something different. And there's like a couple French knots and stray stitches will be to look like the star in here, and then few ribbons will have to be attached, and these are bigger beads that will need to be attached also. So I'll do that when I figure out what kind of ribbons I want and what kind of golden fabric I want for that. So this fabric was gold lame, I guess. So anyway, the rest of it is, you see what it was supposed to be like. I mean, you can kind of tell the dark color that it has a thinner excess, but overall everything should look about the same. Although the red color here is looking much redder than, where's my little mini gold stand, than what I have in here, even though I did not change color number. I followed exactly as is. And the beard for inside the Santa, those little wiggles, is lighter. It seems like it here than on there. And I think that would be about all. So all that's left is to do the star here with the ribbons and the bells in there. So as you can see, I also put my initials already there, and it's a finish. So that now I need to figure out what else to take with me on my sit and stitch groups that we do every few weeks. So this was small enough to carry around, and now it's finished or almost finished. So that's what I had for this piece. I don't know when I'm gonna start the reindeer, maybe next year perhaps, or at the end of this year. We'll see, because as you know, this year I'm doing a lot of new starts. So at least I got something finished like that. And today is already past 8 p.m. on a Monday, the 22nd. And I have not stitched for 2 full days, and today is already 3rd. So I thought my fingers been itching to stitch, and I finally just made myself to come in here and put everything aside and start stitching. I got a lot of things to do right now at home, and I'm pushing through an organization, non-stitch stuff so far, just other things, and it really didn't leave me much, practically no time for stitching. So now I just need to grab something. And then I was thinking, what should I stitch? You know, I wanted to do something as a new start, because they have a couple more planned for this month. And then it's like, I have to be mentally prepared to start, and it's usually in the daytime. So since I have like an hour and a half, I figured I'm gonna work on this. And this is by my Mereshka company, Ukrainian, and those are lilies. And that's gonna be companion for my antique roses that I had. And right now I have, I think, over 18%. So what I've done here is, finally managed to put away. So I started from the middle, and I had the frame previous time to kind of flip it around until I reached almost the top. So now it's a correct way. And I'm gonna just start continuing filling in things slowly, and probably not gonna get very far, but I wanted to at least put in something in stitching. And I will be pulling this out again in August, because this piece was started in August, August 13 actually. So that's something I need to work next month too, but at least now I have something that I can just quickly throw some stitches in. So you're probably not going to be seeing much next time, but hopefully something will be as a progress. All right, so can you see any difference? I hope you can, especially in this dark area. So I did actually look it up this morning, what I did yesterday and into the night, and I got 666 stitches, and that includes like if I did the half stitching, so that would be times 2 of those to become 1. So in total, as a full X, it was 666. And again, I have something else hanging there to start the buds of lilies, those unopened one. So I think this is fairly good start, especially since this considered like a 2-day in total stitching. So there's some kind of already form in here. And I think I'm gonna leave that until August, when it was started in the last year for 1 day, I guess, and we'll see what I can do then. But for now, I'm satisfied with what I filled in. Like you can see in here, all kinds of weird, like a purplish and dark colors, but once it's all put together, it's gonna look amazing. So that's it for now with those vintage lilies. Well, today is almost 10 p.m. on the 23rd of July, 2024. And now I decided to start a series of reindeer from this collection. So the first one is going to be Rudolph. Well, curious, I guess I should say, instead of reindeer. And that's going to be my first, and I'm going to continue the whole series, whole groups of them, because I already have the Santa sleigh to kind of what to pull by them, and I thought it would be appropriately good start with the main reindeer and Rudolph. As you can see in here, a lot of people already, I'm sure, stitched it. So they're not big actually. I haven't looked at all of them, but a couple of them, including Rudolph, are just 80 by 100 stitches. So if you stitch on 32 count over 2 threads, then the pattern should be like a 5 by 6¼ inches. But as we can see, it's not only stitches. There's going to be lots of bling, and it's asking for a cryonic, Karen water lilies, a rainbow gallery whisper, all kinds of treasures, and some Mill Hill beads, and of course DMC floss. So it was suggested to stitch on a 32 count Twilight blue linen. And what I've got is same fabric that I stitched Santa sleigh, and it's a 32 count smoky pearl Belfast linen. And this is what I have left from like a fat quarter. So those 2 long pieces as an extras, and I cut for 2 pieces for 2 reindeer, and I added like a 3 inches of each, so I got like 11 by 12¼ both pieces. And I have one already, just quickly ran with the thread with sewing machine and did sort of like a zigzag. And this is what I did to make sure that I'm stitching in correct way, because there's a little bit taller than wider. And this special like a pen is supposed to be water soluble. So that, and I marked the very middle where I'm gonna start, or approximately. So I wanted to mark middle and just work out of that. And besides that, I did not want to look what I had, what not. I mean, some of the typical beads I would have, but those treasures I did not have as an extras. So I got a whole pack for this one and a little bit extra in here. So I'm gonna start. As you can see, I haven't pulled it out, but there's gonna be like a teardrop almost looking, very, very sparkly bicones, I think, in here, and we'll see. So there's this like 4 different colors of something different than square shaped or teardrop shaped chandelier. Someone would call it these ones right here. So we'll see where I use it once I start working. So right now I have a fabric cut. I'll pull out my DMC threads, which I have plenty, and I'll have to see where my Karen water lilies, and I know I have a whisper several cards, so that should not be a problem. But I just want to start, and my goal is to finish this year at least Rudolph, so we'll see, and maybe at least 1 per year I'll be able to stitch the rest of them. So by the end of how many years, perhaps that towards the end I'll stitch a couple of them. We'll see what my plans will be for that year, but it does not look like a lot of stitching to do. Mainly we'll be working some back stitching and all those treasures and beads to put in. So let's start, and we'll see how much I can do. And it's past 4 days, and this is what you see what I've done in those days. So I think according to my program, it shows about 57% done. So I'm sure you can recognize already the piece. And there's some stuff still left, so it's going to be the cryonic. So first of all, see the antlers are practically all done. There's no back stitching done. I think it has to be at least around the eyes. There's partial nose. So I've been trying to kind of fill in the spots and just keep moving and moving. And you would think, why, it looks almost like done, it should be more. But as you remember, there's going to be more sparkles there around. There's going to be like a frame. And I looked at that. It has to have 3 types of cryonic, and I should have somewhere those, but I guess at least one of them when I've had it in which was it? Another memorabilia, dressmaker's daughter. I just stashed it somewhere else, and now I can't find it, but I'm sure I'll find it. If not, I'll buy it later. So that's going to be in the ribbons. There's going to be several colors of that. And of course, as you see, I did not do any beading yet. Just concentrated on the stitches. Though there's a couple places that I've done like a 3/4 stitch because it's going to be back stitching here. And I wanted to kind of give it a little bit smoother look. And same with the eye here. I did a little bit extra in here, and I think it all looks good. But the rest of it is like that. And I have like quite a bit of a whisper thread in here by Rainbow Gallery to make it all fluffy. And it was stitched with 2 threads. And after I done and washing, I'm going to try to fluff it up a little bit more, and it looks bulky and like a poofy. So that's good, because at first I thought maybe I should try with 1 thread, but I think you would see too much of the fabric through, so 2 it was. So ribbons are almost done. You can say that deer is practically done. As you can see, the paws or his shoes are like here, and I like how it's turning out. And I was just finishing one color after another after this, and if not, then I was finishing up like I wouldn't go between like this and that, or even in these spots I didn't stretch behind. I was finishing off like a ribbon and starting again. So this is what my Rudolph looks like, and maybe a couple more times I'll stop by him, and I think by the end of the year I would be able to finish him. So that's gonna be cool. I almost wanted to add a little bit more extra sparkle on the nose. I might actually do that if there's nothing left at the end with the crynix to do. But I had one type of crynix that I thought it might be the color, but one don't have like a sticker with the number, and another one somehow was the wrong number sticker on it when I received it. And I did not remark which one it was because it was a while ago. So in the colors was very similar with the ribbon, but I want to make sure. So I might have to buy the new one and just compare it. And if it's the same, I'll just remark it because I know the sticker, at least that tells you the number was not correct. So that's what it was with the Rudolph, and I'm very happy. I could have stitched more and more, but I need to find those crynix, and then beading is going to be done at the very end. Right before that, I'll do all the backstage if needed. So I'm pretty sure that I can finish by the end of the year, and I'm very happy how much I've done. So it looks great, even without all the sparkle and the frame already. So that's where I'm going to stop with him for now. And last but not least, at the end of the month, since last year, I've been trying to finish off month with my Girl Ghost, or at least stitch at the end of the month. And I'll remind you, this is what the whole picture should look like, my biggest piece. I'm stitching this on a 25 count Lucas cloth, or Congress or something like that called, just Lucas. I know several people were asking me where I could find it. I know if you go to their store in person, they would sell you, but they don't sell that fabric online themselves. And from what I remember, I bought from somebody online. I can't remember if it was Etsy or not, but you can't buy just a small amount, like a fat quarter. They sell I think by the yards or meters or something like that. So I bought like a five length of this, and so I'll have for a little bit and been using. I like this because it's sort of like a 24 count, pretty big holes, as you can see if I zoom in. And it's a tough enough fabric. It reminds me of Congress Tramin. Might be a tiny bit softer than that, but not by much. And This one is pre-gridded. Those lines in beginning was kind of hard to figure out, but now I'm pretty good because it touches like for me, at least I calculate that very last and very first of each block is like that, and the same in here. So so it's not too hard. I'm not drawing lines through that. I just did very middle. And let's see what I've have so far. So in beginning, I finished just one row, and then I decided to just go ahead and do like a whole height of my frame. And I don't know how many inches there is, maybe like 9 inches wide, tall, I mean. But that's I'm going to be stitching. So if I want to finish by the end of 2025 this whole row, so I calculated right now I have to do about the minimum 3,500 stitches a month, and I'm doing that as a half stitch. In total it should have 406,000 stitches, and the size of this is 700 by 580. And I've started this on January 1st, 2021. So it's going to be many years when I finish it is, but slowly, that's why I have to stitch every month. So last time I did her skin, and I think you all would agree that that is the best choice I could have made, because I thought about just like continuing her dress perhaps all around and leave skin for face, especially for later. But I think now, after stitching all this like a grayish bluish colors all this time in the first row and here, to look at something is gonna be encouragement. And like she's showing me already, you can see her hand outlining already, that's like, you need to continue this way, this way. And it's in half stitches, so of course you when I wash this, I'm hoping it will shrink tiny bit, so it will be all more connected, especially all those dark colors, because when you zoom in very up close, you can see the fabric showing through. And just by touching it, there's like a bump in here, because like in this part last time when I stitched, it was just pretty much 1-2 stitches here and one there, and that's it. So lots of start and finish, start and finish. So this area is going to be probably a bit harder to stitch than this background or some of the hair. And it's not cleaned up pattern. She warned us ahead. This was for free, and first time I saw a picture, I just fell in love with this. Just the feeling. That's how I usually pick the pictures. What I want to stitch is I look at it and see what kind of feeling it gives me. So this is such a, especially this flowing dress, it gives me such a serenity kind of thing, you know, like meditational piece of, maybe I should say. So that's why I'm stitching, and I'm okay with all those lots of singles, confettis, because at the end result I think it's gonna be amazing. So I don't know where I'm gonna continue, fill in holes here, maybe continue with her dress in here, because you can see a dress kind of outline already is seen a tiny bit. And there's a couple more stitches left to do in the butterfly here, because it's almost like a white colors. All of these butterflies are just bright, and I'm very curious how this butterfly is gonna turn out. And I think, yes, that's a hair outline of the ghost part of the girl, and I'm gonna have more skin popping out like right here, I believe, because this is the strand of hair by the ear. So don't know what I'm gonna do, because I just pick a color from the edge and just kind of go and stop and go. As you can see, I'm not doing parking anymore, just working like that. So far, not bad. It took me a bit to get used to that, and not to go like in the area finish and go area finish, but just slowly like a flowing like a river. So still need to finish her ribbons here, and another like the metal part that holds the shape of the hair to do this ring. So I don't know where I'm gonna go, but I'm sure you'll see some kind of difference from now until then. So I guess I'll be back in those days at the end of it, at the end of the month, to show you what it looks like then. And here she is in her outfit. Of course, I did not fully finish it again. Ran out of time because today is already 1st of August, and I finished it, left it like this yesterday. So first of all, want to show you that I finished the ribbon part in here, and again it's like a big bulk in there, lots of single stitches, lots of confetti, same like I had in here. And then I started going like a overall in the whole outfit when I pick up the color, and I started doing that. And at the last day, I've decided to kind of just concentrate on a portion and kind of finish it off. So as you can see, all of this is done up to like about this point, and we can already tell the details of her, like, I don't know, is that a belt or something? So it's showing up in here, and a flowy dress outfit, and you can see like this part is the triangle looks like more like a sheer silky maybe fabric, and just the arm already, I think it's all done too, and started going in this way, like this part is almost all finished, so just kind of like this way would be still some left to do. And her hair is not fully finished on that side, and I'll be picking up dark colors like some in here scattered and in the belt, I think I'm gonna finish there. Plus you see part more of her left hand in it's already showing up, and how her sleeves is gonna fall in there. So when you look from a little bit more distance, it's starting to show up more. I can see more of her flowy outfit this way, and like especially shoulder here. So overall I did pretty good. I don't remember how many I did, but it's not fully 5,000 stitches, I think. But I got a good percent plus done, so I'm very happy with that. Spending all those days stitching just on her. And actually, I did not want to stop. I wanted to kind of finish her outfit, but like I said, it was the end of the month, so I had to just force myself to stop and not to start, because it's time to finish off the month and try to post a video for you. But I think, like, especially from this corner, I think she's looking amazing. I'm just so glad that I can finally see her face and skin, and not just like a hair and background. So also, as you noticed, I added this little piece of paper just with the magnets, so I don't have to like write down, and it's a little bit easier. I still need to add one on the top, because then I was trying to kind of figure out by the layout where is which number. So from a pattern, it's easier to grab, like, okay, so that's about 180, and I know that the middle was I think like right here, the line of, or like in this area, like the whole piece. So kind of was going by that. But this definitely helped me more than just the writing, because like I said, I don't mark right now this piece, and this is how working. There's of course lots of like light colors that you might not be able to see, that still needs to be put in. So white on white stitching is not the most fun, or light on light, because luckily through the pattern like Keeper or Saga, you can tell where you haven't finished stitching yet, and filling, like there's a couple stitches in there. So but from a distance you wouldn't be able to tell at all. So while I was doing stitching her, I've been going for a walk with dogs, because I've been trying to get my step counting in Pacer for the medal, and I was a tiny bit behind from before, because we have very high humidity, and like today is I think like 92%, and like 92 at least showing on thermometer outside, so extreme heat. So we do like in the morning and late in evening walk a mile, 2 miles of walking. And I don't know if I told you, but I can't remember previous little tidbits of videos, but at the end of our street in a subdivision, apparently there was a house that had like, I don't know, car caught on fire in garage. So they have it all boarded up. So I might put a couple pictures in there, what it looks like afterwards. Hopefully, I don't know those people, so hopefully they're all okay. It doesn't seem like main part of the house was damaged much, except probably smoke and soot. But yeah, and I was walking, and there's a beautiful, beautiful sky, like right above our house. That I wish I had a video taken, because light, like a dark part of the cloud, was just sitting there on the left, and light clouds just coming faster, kind of like encroaching and trying to swallow those dark clouds. But the picture just I took kind of made me want to go more out in the evenings and towards the sunset especially, and go for a walk and look up in the sky. So yeah, and I guess we'll see what next month brings. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope I inspired you to stitch some of your pieces, or that you could see in this part of video, or what your favorites were by all the whips. And don't forget to click a button like, and if you haven't subscribed, if you would do that, that would be greatly appreciated. If you've been subscribing before, thanks again for stopping by, and I hope to get some comments. I started writing each day some more to coming back to kind of catch up, but now I have to do all kinds of videos, and hopefully next video you'll see is gonna be like a whip parade of that I'm hoping to film today. So okay, I'm starting to talk way too fast. So I hope you guys have a great day, that the weather is great for you, and you're all healthy, and you have time for your favorite hobbies. Until the next time, this was Jurgita saying bye. Ata.